Hi, this is Matt. Welcome to the channel of Growing Citrus in Containers. Today's lesson is going to be how to install a micro sprinkler system and get some of that precious time back during the week. So here's a list of tools that you're all going to need. Start with the micro sprinkler with a green tip. To the right of that is a connection piece between the 1/2 inch supply line and the 1/4 inch coil that goes from that to the sprinkler. An adapter on my hose because I still want to be able to use my hose. Teflon tape. Bottom right is kind of like a figure 8 hose ender. To the left is a 90-degree 1/2 inch to 1/2 inch. I have a corner. Right above that connector piece is a 3/4 to 1/2 inch from the faucet connections timer to the 1/2 inch line, and the bottom left is my timer already preset. First thing I did today, or yesterday actually, was I laid out my 1/2 inch supply line to get the general length. Of course I went a little larger or longer than I needed. So one is a 45-foot run approximately, and the other one is about a 15 to 17-foot run from the corner to my hose bib. So after I laid out my lines for the length, I trimmed them down and I hooked it up to the hose bib. To get a little closer, got a 2-way. The timer and the connection goes from a 3/4 to 1/2 inch because this is a 1/2 inch line. Runs down. So that is the corner that I was talking about, where I met up the two different runs, the 45 and 15 run. That's a 90-degree, both 1/2 inch on each end. So I stuck them in and twirled them together and made a nice tight connection. Here's that figure 8 contraption. You stick it in through one end, down through the other, and kinks it right here. So this will terminate your water. If I ever want to add a longer run to this, all I got to do is cut it off down here and add a connector. Hi all, let me show you how to hook up your sprinklers to your 1/2 inch gauge line, or your feeder line. So you take your poker, as you saw in the parts list description, and here's the 1/2 inch I didn't show you. Take it, you stick it in, and you just gotta twist until you hear that pop. Give it a little twist and pull it out like so. In the parts list I showed you these barb pieces. These are really easy to put in. You gotta line it up, and you just gotta work it in until it gets all the way to the flange centerpiece, and then it will snap in. So now you have your transition piece from your 1/2 inch to your barb piece. Now, through trial and error, after doing 27 micro sprinklers, is that it would be best to install your 1/2 inch gauge line to your sprinkler first. So go and get an idea of how far you need it and cut it to length. This is way shorter than I need, but I did it just for this example. So you take it to the top part and you go ahead and you just gotta work it in. Little pro tip, leave it outside in the sun for a little while to make it a little softer, just like I did when I laid out my 1/2 inch lines to get them to go straight. And you just slowly just work it all the way up until it doesn't go anymore. Like so. Now the last thing I do is just go around to your 1/2 inch line, the other end of your 1/4 inch line, and do the same thing. Just all the way in, and then there you go. Now you have an installed sprinkler. All right, let me demonstrate to you real quick on how to connect a connector piece to a 1/2 inch gauge line. Make sure your 1/2 inch gauge line here is cut flush as possible, and take your connector piece. Make sure the threaded piece is all the way down, or I'm sorry, all the way up, and just work this thing in the best you can, the far as you can, until it seats, which means it can't go any farther. At this point, just make sure your connector piece is straight, and take this and you just go until it gets really tight to turn. Right there's good, and now you have a nicely sealed connector piece. I really want to show you on how to adjust your pressure on your micro sprinkler. Here's my variegated pink Eureka Lemon, doing beautiful. Let's get down to here. And we've gone through the process on how to install our sprinkler. So what you do is before you install it, you make sure they're all closed. Now, when they're all after closed, you just slowly unthread the top and see where the spray is in relation to your area. So you can go really high and get it super wet everywhere, which I just got myself good, but it's 95 degrees. Or you turn it down until you get adequate coverage. But this is the most part. It runs for 10 minutes. It's going to saturate most of the root ball. But if you have really larger containers, you could absolutely put more than one and then just dial it down a little bit. By doing this, it saves you money, as in you're not wasting water. And I have 27 micro sprinklers installed, so every day it takes me about a half an hour to water by hand. Now I get approximately 3.5 hours back to be with my family, come out and do other things with my trees, and all that wonderful stuff that keeps life going properly. Here comes the final product of all the hard work of installing this micro irrigation. Now these beauties can get watered every morning. I have it set at 6 a.m. and it's going to go for, I don't know, I think I have it set for 10 minutes. We're going to play with it, see how it goes. It is getting kind of hot right now where I live at, so it's working like a champ. And it took me a little over an hour and about 20 minutes to set the whole entire system up. So please like, follow, and subscribe if you find all this information valuable and you want to see more future content. Go ahead and do that, and have a blessed day, and I'll talk to you guys soon.